Hello, everyone. Here we are, session 0 of Operator Call of Cthulhu One Shot, and here we're joined by Morse and Troy, and I am joining Troy too.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for having us on your channel. Thank you both for coming on my channel. And Morris, thank you for keepering for us. I guess it's not DMing for us. Thank you for leading us on this journey for the first time. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I'm very excited to be here. I love sharing one shots, and I'm sometimes you start running out of people to share them with.
Okay, well, definitely happy to fill that role.
Absolutely, it's like an honor. Shall we give you the reins, Morse?
Um, sure. Do you both have your sheets pulled up, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just kind of gonna go over what stuff means. Um, like it can be a little confusing because the stats specifically are a bit different from like a bit different in meaning from what a lot of different TTRPGs are. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so for characteristics, let's start with strength. That means that of course, it's how strong your character is. Um, Constitution, I believe, is oh, one second.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the measure of the hardiness of your investigator, which is just like their stamina. Yes, I do want you to keep your character sheet secret.
Okay.
Um, So Constitution is your character's stamina, it's their determination and stuff. Dexterity is we know what dexterity means.
Yeah.
Intelligence isn't what we would more just um underneath it you can see that it says idea. So it's just sort of like your character's ability to use
Mm-hmm.
common sense essentially. Yeah. Eyes. Sorry, my headphones just screamed at me to charge them.
Oh, that's okay.
Um, Size is sort of like how physically big your character is.
Oh.
I determine that a lot as height. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Like yeah, power influences how much you're able to attack for. Um, or in some other cases, do magic. This campaign doesn't have a lot of magic in it. Um, it might have a little bit. Appearance is another weird one that and a lot of TTRPGs don't have, but that's literally a stat just saying how attractive is your character.
Want to help me now?
Oh, okay.
Or are you busy?
Um, Education is how educated your character is, how much knowledge that they have from schooling and things. Hit points, we know what hit points are. Magic points, um, it's the things that you spend to do magic. Um, Luck is another weird one. Because luck is both a stat that you can roll for and a resource that you can spend. Um, what that means is if you fail a roll in this game, you can do something called pushing your luck, is you say a way that you can think of to do it better and you can re-roll and do that again. But if you fail again, something bad will happen, or I get to take the reins, or maybe the thing that you wanted to happen happens, but not necessarily in the way that you wanted it to.
Oh,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
You can spend it by modifying your rolls by 1 point per point that you spend of luck. Um, that can get really expensive really fast because we use percentile dice for this.
Oh.
If you had like if you wanted to roll below a 50 and you had like a 70 something, then you'd have to take away like 20 points of luck for that to bring it down to where it's good. Oh, that's another thing that's different with Call of Cthulhu. Um, you want to roll low.
Nice. I like
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
interesting.
That's why the bigger your numbers are on the sheet, the better it is for you, generally, because it'll make it easier to roll below whatever stat you need to get below. That's also why there's
Oh.
the regular half and fifth markers on all of these. Because if I need you to have a great success or a perfect success for something, that will be the marker of what that is. Sanity is like a secondary health bar. Um, if you lose too much sanity at once, I get to take temporary control
Oh.
of
Yeah.
your character, or I get to inflict some sort of effect on them. The effects probably won't take too much of an effect because I didn't go through and give them all phobias um, or manias on that hand. Um, you also go indefinitely insane if your sanity drops too low, um, which is not generally good for you. You will still have control over your character. Their, their view on what's happening and their motivations will change forever, though. Okay. If you lose a bunch of hit points, you could get a major wound, which is a permanent block off of your max HP.
Mm,
And if you get two of those, you die.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting.
Um, you can be knocked unconscious, which isn't amazing, but generally you could prefer being unconscious from having a major wound, because if you have major wounds, you die. Um,
Just like real life.
yeah. You get stabbed once, you're fine. Get stabbed twice, uh,
Oh,
um,
sheesh.
Mhm.
so there's all of these skills in on your first page.
Mhm.
Do you have any that you want to ask about?
Ooh. I like, first of all, I just want to say I'm looking at these and there's like, what, like 35 or something. I'm very excited to see all these numbers and places that, whether I'm good at it or not, there's some cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and if you're trying to do a thing, I can either be specific about which skill to use, or you can try to like maneuver a skill that you're good at into being appropriate for the situation.
Oh, that's
Nice.
nice.
Thank you. I like the sound of that. Could I ask what, whether it comes up or not, can I ask what accounting is? The accounting skill, like an example of how that would come up, basically.
So that's like, say you I've never actually had to use the accounting skill
Hmm.
in anything. But generally how that would work if I was going to use it would be like, say you need to like barter with a shopkeeper or something, or you need to like plan out your finances for something for like a longer term thing. Um,
Oh.
so if you got higher in accounting with that sort of thing, then you'd be able to save more of your money.
Ah, that's
Um,
making sense. Okay.
although for me, I don't generally do much with money.
Hmm.
Uh, at least in this one.
I understand.
Um, yeah.
Okay. Kind of like how I don't care about in D&D, what's it? Weight limits, whatever that's called. What is it
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
called?
Um, Beneath that, you can get to the combat section. Um, all of you, both of you, will have the option for brawl. Um, the skill things there are also or what you need to roll beneath to be able to hit something, and then damage is whatever dice plus your damage bonus. I'm sorry, it's storming.
Oh, you
Oh,
good?
it's okay.
Yeah, it was storming here earlier. Actually, my internet
Um,
kind of like blipped out just briefly, like 5 minutes ago, but so far so good. So you're fine.
Hopefully my internet will be okay. Uh, yeah. Um, Another thing that I don't really pay much attention to, just because it's kind of hard to do on like online sessions, is movement. Generally that would be like how many like spaces you can move in combat. Um, there's not really a great way to track that when you're not in person.
Oh damn.
So I just sort of don't. Um, but generally, if you want to punch something, you want to be closer to it. Your arms aren't infinitely long.
There's no sort of online kind of session thing, sort of like for D&D where, I forgot what it's called exactly, but in D&D where they track placements and stuff.
Yeah, I just I'm that kind of tedious, and I don't like I don't prefer to be super combat focused. Just generally, it's like if someone wants to go somewhere, I'm probably gonna let them.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
If
very
you
excited to
scroll
be
down another
here,
page,
like a non-combat
Yeah.
focused situation.
you scroll down another page. Um, oh yeah, that's fine. Uh, you'll get to the my story is generally what I put for the motivations for them being there. Um, which both of you can read through that on your own time if you haven't already. Um, and the backstory bit is just like the characters like, what their traits are, what sort of ideology they have, if they have any injuries and scars, significant people, phobias and manias, which comes into play if, you know, they go a little insane. Uh, Meaningful locations, arcane tomes and spells. Um, if you want to do magic, you need to have those.
Okay.
Here in possessions, I might have. Oh man, that didn't go on you guys' character sheets. I can just DM that to you separately if
Okay.
you'd
Okay.
like. Um, Actually, I don't know because the example sheet that I was looking at, I don't think had any equipment. Yeah, okay. Um, Never mind.
Okay.
I was wrong. Um, Turns out I am actually smart and good at this, I suppose. Um, yeah. Wealth is another thing that won't really come into play here, but the spending level is, or if you want to be more basic and not like necessarily take account of all of your cash and assets after everything goes on. Um, and it just sort of means that if you go into a shop, you can spend like maximum $200 or something if that's what your spending level is. Um,
Ah.
yeah.
I like that
Quick
there's a
reference
spending
rules
level.
are,
That's cute.
yeah. The quick reference rules I find pretty helpful. As you know, it explains pushing rolls. It explains what you cannot push for combat or sanity rolls. Um, it also explains what the levels of success are. Fumble would be above 96. Skill would be above the skill. Regular is less than or equal to the skill. Hard is half of a skill, and extreme is 1/5 of a skill. And if you get a critical, that is a 1.
Dang.
Also explains the difference between first aid and medicine, um, which is just medicine has the ability to heal more than just first aid. Um, and it explains major wounds, unconscious, and dying. For major wound, that would be half of max HP in one attack. If you reach 0 HP without a major wound, you are unconscious. If you can't talk, if you reach 0 HP with a major wound, you are dying. You're dying, and you get first aid. You're temporarily stabilized, and then require medicine. You do have a natural heal rate. If you have a major wound, then you can only do a healing roll once an endgame week. If you do not, then you can do a healing roll once an endgame day.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's going over character sheets. So we can go over rolling if you would like.
Okay, I'm down to hear it.
So whenever you roll, you need 2 dice, your percentile dice and your d10. They are rolled together unless otherwise stated. Their value together is, you know, it is the value that you're taking for the skill unless you decide to push your luck or spend any luck. Um, which people kind of debate what the zeros on them mean for if it's like an actual 0 or a 10. I go with I go with them meaning zeros. Just because I find that that's a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it makes it so that your D10 doesn't necessarily interfere with your percentile die.
Okay.
Do you guys have any questions that you want me to answer before we continue?
Um. My question was, do you use a certain site online for the dice?
I have my own dice, but if you need a site for dice rolling, Duel's House has a really good resource for it, and it has an archive for whatever rolls that you do make. If you
Ooh.
have a um, keeper that wants to look at that after the fact to make sure that you're not like fudging rolls.
Okay.
I don't. I trust you guys, and even if you do fudge rolls a little bit, I mean, if it's not game breaking, I don't like as long as it's not game breaking and it's still like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I won't
Yeah.
fudge my rolls. As a player, I
Me
don't
either.
ever. Perhaps as a DM, I might from time to time, but definitely, I will. I will probably be rolling physically just because I love physical dice. But I will be completely honest and truthful with my rolls.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Thank you.
I wanted to. I don't think I have percentile dice. I could double check, but I think I only have a D20 question mark.
It's
Yeah.
fine. The Google Dice Roller also works. Um, and that's just you have your D10 and then you have your like you can use one D10 for say your tens and one of them for your hundreds. Like I don't personally like it as much as the Doll's House one, but it does work in a pinch. Of course, you do not have to have like physical dice. If you don't have them, then you don't have them. And there are alternatives online for dice rolling.
Okay.
It's just less fun, in my opinion.
I'll see if I could find them within a week.
Yeah. Um, Anything else?
I think that's all good for me. Try. Are you
Uh,
still good?
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry, I
Um,
was just answering a question about percentile dice. Right, because since we've got some time before session, we could definitely get some beforehand. I don't think I have any questions. Thank you for answering the question about the skills. I'm very excited. I've just been basically my eyes have been like going over and just imagining the scenarios that I'll be in the future, maybe.
yeah, I very much like how specific they are. It makes things easier on me because I don't have to be like, oh, you're trying to appraise an object. Oh God, what skill is that under? Uh,
I do have a question about
yeah.
so you mentioned the day mechanic, basically the natural heal rate. An example, or I could ask for an example of basically like perhaps in a one shot how many days we'll go through, if it's just one, or does it depend on the one shot that you're running? Maybe one of yours is one day, maybe one of yours is a week. Like, what is the progression of time like in this game?
It it depends on the campaign, and for this one, it also depends heavily on the players. Um, you could go through the whole thing in one day if you wanted to. Um, you could also take like in-game months. It doesn't really affect the story that much. Um, so yeah, I don't typically take like super restrictive role on time frames. Um, I like leaving that sort of thing up to player choice because if they're a bit slower, then it's gonna take a little longer than it would with other people.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's true.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for the answer. Because as you might have heard, sometimes in other systems, there'll be the point. It's like, oh well, you've done three encounters. Maybe now it's already 6 p.m. Or a campaign's been going on for maybe 2.5 years, but in game it's just been 2 weeks. So I just wanted to get a good grasp of
Ah.
time.
Yeah, don't worry. There's only one shot that I've made where like any sort of timers come into play at all.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
I'd
That's
ask more,
like
but maybe
physical
perhaps we could
timers.
get to that one down the line. I don't know if that's one that's geared for people like us, but that sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Sure. I made that one just to put like more stress on people when they were in stressful situations. Like, 'cause in some scenarios, you're not necessarily going to be able to like talk out every decision that you make with the group. Sometimes you only have 5 minutes to come to a consensus before you die.
Oh goodness.
Nice. Exciting.
And I like watching the chaos.
I like that too. Sometimes when I'll be running a session in Roll20, I will type in the chat I'll just start counting up or down live, and my players will be like, what's Troy doing? Why is he counting up to 25, 26? What's going on? It's very concerning.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Um, I believe that's most of what I was gonna go over today.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, oh, aside from some skills and mechanics, I think. Uh, so for things like drive auto, um, that is driving a car. You have to have a car to use that. Um, That might seem like common sense, but sometimes people are like, I mean, I have the skill. I don't have a car, but I have a skill. Um, Having the skill doesn't necessarily mean that you can drive or that you should drive. Um, but if you have the skill and you roll well, then you have a car, and that can decrease travel time significantly. Um, some places you have to drive to be able to get to
Yes, the
within a certain
suburbs.
amount of time, or in order to get there at all because of different types of terrain. Um, Same goes with firearms. You gotta have a gun to use this.
Oh, my arms won't just burst into flames.
Nope.
I got these
Um,
guns right here. I'm flexing. You can't see me because I'm a simple PNG, but I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that in game.
But yeah, me either.
yeah.
I'll read the room. I
Um,
won't be silly.
Right, same.
I mean, I'm fine with people being silly. It's just like you can't really shoot a gun if you don't have a gun. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I actually have a.
And
yeah.
for things like that, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'll go after since yours is more related.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Mine was
I see. I have a chatter in here who had a question about. I guess I'll rephrase it because for our session 0. But I was curious if you were allowed to tell us what ratio of your one shots involve people who've known each other already, as opposed to people who are meeting up for the very first time. If there is a difference between that and your one shots, unless it's
like
spoilers.
as characters or as people.
Oh, it's you what? Both.
Uh,
I was assuming characters, but I'm kind of curious about people also. But I guess I was intending characters.
for people, uh, most of the time they already know each other.
Hmm.
Um, I don't run with that many separate groups. Or I haven't, I would say, is sometimes it's hard to find people that are like, hey, do you want to sit down for like 2 or 3 hours, like talk horror at you? Um, it's really spooky, I promise. It can be a hard sell sometimes. For characters, I'd say, gosh, like they met in other one shots or like they know each other in the one shot itself. But which one of those were you
I
asking?
think more like we'll sit down and kind of also introduce ourselves in character. So kind of like for I guess if it's for the first time, I think it was the second one that you were saying out of those two. I might be mixing that up. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're fine. I would say a good chunk of them are at least acquaintances, like they know
Ah,
of each other.
yes, I like that.
Um, yeah. And specifically, it takes place in a sort of smaller town, um, which, you birthplace and residence on your character sheets doesn't really mean anything. I was just like, it's it's not where it's taking place is not a real town. Um, I just kind of put that there because I could.
Oh no,
It
yeah.
required you to, so I was like, oh, I guess it's in Alabama.
I dig it.
Um, yeah, but like it's a smaller sort of town. Um, or maybe some of them like met in high school or like met in college or something and they like kind of know each other. But like only some of them are like friends, you know?
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Thank you for walking through that. Does clear things up for me. I was kind of curious. Basically, I guess for the context, I'll explain to some of the people on my end. Morse here is our keeper for Call of Cthulhu, and he exclusively runs, if I'm understanding correctly, one shots for Call of Cthulhu, which are basically self-contained for the most part adventures. Feel free to correct me on anything if I'm wrong. And we are journeying next time to do one of these pre-made adventures that he's made, and I'm very excited to give that a try.
Yeah, I'm excited to run it again as well. Um, because last few times that I've ran it, I've gotten feedback from the people who have, and I've like beefed it up significantly, both in terms
Ooh.
of like story and characters and just like things that can happen. Um, and I'm hoping that it's better. If it's
Yes.
not, we'll roll with the punches.
Yes. No, no, I'm
Um,
excited to see the fruits of that labor. I know I've got a few one shots that I've improved over time. I used to run the quintessential D&D Death House one shot for my players. As written, it's not good. It's pretty bad. So other people have basically modded it, and then I also made a few changes to it that I think is. But first of all, I think I mentioned this during our TTRPG talk. Maybe I didn't, but I added a dog for them to adopt when it eventually evolved into a larger campaign down the line. But yeah, definitely improving on the one shots is something that I can get behind. So I'm excited to see the condition that it's in for our adventure.
yeah. Um, Speaking of dogs,
Mhm.
I actually needed to ask you both. Um, there is a dog in this. I like letting people name and decide the
It's so
breed of the
cute.
dog.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So, you guys have any opinions on that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
This is the
the
hardest choice
pressure.
of the
Yeah,
campaign.
this is like starting an RPG and not only the character creation, but then the name. But then this is for something arguably more important than me, the dog. Oh wow.
You know what,
Yeah.
Troy?
What's
Do you have any
I
ideas?
don't have ideas right now. I was wondering if our fellow other player might have had ideas also. If Morse has asked already, but I don't know.
I have not. Um, what I am going to do instead is like maybe you two can brainstorm and then I can give them like final say if they
Ooh,
want.
right.
Oh,
Like if we
sounds
narrow it
good.
down to like 3 or 5 names, okay, or something,
Yeah.
and like maybe 2 or 3
Uh,
breeds.
Most of the breed of dog.
ask your
Don't
chat,
forget the
Troy.
breed of dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If well, I guess we can also keep in account what our characters kind of I'm like looking at my character sheet, seeing, trying to imagine what kind of dog would be here. But if anyone in chat
Oh
has
yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
favorite, like any breeds they'd want to see or any dog names they'd like to see, we'll take suggestions. But of course, the ultimate choice will be up to us as players.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like that. I'll try to come up with something, but oh my gosh. Mm.
That's a really cute idea. I like that because I did choose the breed for the dog that I put in, but the players actually there wasn't a pre-existing name, but then they named him Marvin, which was really exciting. I'm seeing
Oh,
a vote for Huskies if Huskies are available. Um,
ooh,
Yes,
huskies are
I
cute.
will put that on the list.
I'll put in an anti-vote, I guess, not to be a negative person because I'm all about being a positive, but I would prefer that there not be, what is it called? It's like a big dog. Um, very
German Shepherd.
no, it's like a Pyrenees, a Great Pyrenees or something like that. Just let me look this up. I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with.
You're fine.
Oh yeah, it's like a big
Before you
fluffy
said
dog.
before you said big dog, I genuinely thought that you were gonna say Chihuahua.
I thought I was gonna say, what is Scooby Doo again? A Great Dane. That was the first thing that was
Yeah,
coming to
Great
mind.
Dane.
That was not what I was thinking because the Great Pyrenees is like a lighter fur and it's fluffier than Scooby Doo is. But I mean, we're about to do some Call of Cthulhu. I was thinking big dog, and my brain was like, "You mean Scooby Doo?" Right? I'm like, "No, that is not what I mean at all."
I thought you were gonna say the big ass mastiff or something. Tibetan mastiff,
Nice. Yeah, that's a
the big bear
staple
dog.
in D&D actually. That's like the one of the largest beasts that you can summon with the summon beast ability or spell. So a lot of people opt for they might opt for different breeds, but then we'll use the stat block of the mastiff just so I'm like, yeah, you all can get the biggest dog here. But I'll definitely think it over and brainstorm it. I might need longer than here to decide. Just like when I'm making a character
Yeah,
in a game.
just let me know if you have any like thoughts later on.
Okay.
Yes,
Um,
Yeah.
we'll do.
um, exploration is very important in this if you want to get like valuable items and valuable insight. I like I like scattering little secrets around. I think it's fun. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, like for this specifically, I have quite a few like pages torn out of journals that you can just find around. Um, I like feeding that to people completely out of order.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
I think it's fun. Um, yeah. You will be provided with a map.
Nice. Yeah, the map will help
Ooh.
me definitely visualize. Like we don't need like a like an overarching map is what I assume you mean, like portions of the city or town or wherever we're gonna be, or unless it's something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, you will get a map, and that map will be helpful, I assume. Because if you just go running off into the woods, you're probably gonna get lost in the woods. Uh, yeah.
Doesn't sound like a good idea.
But along the exploration lines, please do explore. That's how you get all the story that you can out of it. That's how you get all the items that you can out of it. That's kind of how you figure out the whole deal. Um, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be sure to explore, I guess, the area thoroughly, places inside the area thoroughly. I guess like if we're in a room, if we end up in a room, I'll try my best to look around if that's also what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Um, I had a question. Did we want to introduce who we're playing as now, or did we want to wait till next time?
I'd say wait until next time.
Okay.
Just because then maybe we could have Vulture here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Depends on scheduling. I don't remember if it said that it could be here next time or not.
We'll wait a good day for all of us.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to say.
Okay.
All right. Yes, thank you for explaining. I'm very excited. I have a good feeling now, now that I always like the TTRPGs where you want to roll lower. The lower the better. So I'm excited to do more of that. I'm just loving all the skills and what's been allocated to me. Excited to see that in action. And also as far as backstory is concerned, I'm not spoiling anything, but there's stuff that aligns with me. Like I'm like, oh, I feel that. And then there's stuff that aligns with what I used to be in a way where I'm like gonna be excited to kind of like dive back into that and to like step into those shoes again of past me.
It's exciting to hear. I'm glad that you like the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too. I'm
Yeah.
just like, ooh, this will be very nice to explore.
Yeah. I always try to like walk a line between being specific enough to matter and being non-specific enough that players can like put their own twist on things if they want. Um,
Mhm.
Yes, yes, this is
and
the
if that worked,
great
I
amount.
am very glad.
Yeah, this is personally the perfect amount for me because it's like it's that line because I need a jumping off point so that because I'm not super creative, so I need like I need a base to start, but once you give me that, then I can try to do stuff that falls within the realm of believability, but it still has some of my personality into it. So yeah, I need this jumping off point. This is perfect.
Yeah. Um, I am glad.
I also like the spending
Yeah, I'm
level
really
just
excited.
because I wish I had a spending level in real life. I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
especially with dice, because I literally just bought more dice this afternoon. So clearly I don't have a spending level.
So
I
I
mean,
got some.
if you wanted a spending level in real life, you could just like have a separate bank account that you have spending money in.
Ooh. Yeah, actually.
I
Okay. I like that
I
idea.
don't know.
No, because
I,
I have like a bank that I use, right? Or a credit union, and then I have the different accounts in it, but that's like all together. But if I have a separate bank, like completely distinctly separate, that might make it easier for me. I like the tip. I'll keep that in mind.
yeah, that's that's kind of what I use because if I don't, then I will impulse spend all of my money.
I'm glad you gave me a limit then in this case.
Yeah. I'm looking at this limit. I'm like, I should do this.
Yeah. Um, any other questions, thoughts, concerns?
Well, you said you're gonna play as the last character, right? The one that we didn't choose.
Oh, yes. Um, not necessarily as that character, but that character gets kind of given a different role as an NPC.
Okay. I'm glad we still get to
Uh,
know them then.
Yeah,
yeah.
me too. I don't think I have any more
Um,
questions. I'm excited for next time.
Yeah, me too.
oh, that is good to hear. Um, I'm very glad that I didn't run over the time that I have. Um, thank you for having me. Uh, is there anything that you want me to say to your audiences?
Ooh.
uh,
I guess for me, could I ask you to give that little spiel, kind of like what I alluded to before, where you're the reason why uh, you came to be as our keeper because of what you bring to the table as far as like Call of Cthulhu is concerned. Like, tell us about yourself. Like, what's in your repertoire?
Um, I've written quite a few one shots. Um, God, I don't remember the specific number, but I think like 20, 30 something.
Nice.
Um, not all of them
wow.
are good. Not all of them are good. But I have a lot of practice and experience um, with that sort of thing. I am by no means the best keeper in the world, but I try my best. I know how this game works, and I try to like use it as a way to tell stories because I really like making them. Yay!
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Love being creative here.
I've been doing it since like God, about a, about 2 years actually, I think.
Mhm.
Wow.
Um, started pretty much as soon as COVID ended. Not well, as soon as quarantine let up and I was able to go back to school and peer pressure my friends into
Oh
coming and
yeah.
sitting at a table
Hell yeah.
and then we talk at them.
We love
Um,
peer pressure
yeah,
in terms
yeah,
of this.
yeah.
Right.
Um, peer pressure in terms of things that aren't fun is bad. What
Yeah,
is
yeah,
fun and what
yeah.
isn't fun is up to your own interpretation.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, um, I love horror. I love board games. I love tabletop. Um, I personally sort of went fully over to Call of Cthulhu when the whole like Creative Commons license with D&D was kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh God. Um, and I like it better,
Sure.
if I'm being honest.
I mean, it feels like it aligns with a
Yeah.
lot of things, I guess, a lot of things that you like, right? And so it sounds like you can inject all sorts of aspects of perhaps media you've enjoyed down the line, or aesthetics and aspects that you like. And then, of course, the less on combat, more on the role playing situation. So it sounds like it's like, I don't want to say the perfect storm, but it checks a lot of boxes, which I think is important for a system because, kind of like what you talked about before in our TTRPG talk, like not every campaign or one shot has to be D&D 5th edition. There are other systems out there. There's Call of Cthulhu, Vampire the Masquerade, Fate. There's a lot. So I'm excited that you found your niche, your area of expertise, and I'm excited to see it come to fruition. And I like feel honored, kind of like Lux was saying earlier, that that I get to be a player in this, that we get to be players in this. So thank you for starting this journey for us.
No
Yeah.
problem at all. Um, on the factor of like inspirations and things, um, Operator is full of references to Marble Hornets. Um,
Okay.
'Cause I love Marble Hornets
Mm-hmm.
so much. Kind of inspired the whole thing. Um,
Ooh.
you can go and watch it if you want. I highly suggest that you go and watch it. It will not like mess with the story and things. It just sort of started as a sort of like tribute to Marble Hornets.
Marble Hornets,
Um,
nice.
it's very good, I promise.
Right. No, I've just gone ahead and written that down. I believe I got the name correctly. Just send it to my chat. Marble Hornets.
Yeah. I found it really interesting because it was one of the pioneering pieces of internet horror, or at least
Oh.
video internet horror. It kind of like spawned ARGs in general. Um, it's very good. It holds up very well. I hold it very close to my heart. Um, go watch it if you haven't. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I'm reading through this and I'm just like, oh, that sounds intense.
Mm-hmm.
it's fantastic. I love it so much.
Yeah, I've written down, so I will look into it.
Yeah. Um, I think that's that answered the question
Oh, yeah, that
about
absolutely
how.
answered the question and more. That's exactly what I was looking for, plus extra. So thank you. Thank you for the answer.
Thank you. I love talking.
Well, you're our keeper, so very excited to be on this side of the talk away.
Yeah, gotta have a lot of water.
Yeah, I'm going to drink some right now, actually.
Hydrate, don't hydrate.
Very true.
Yeah. Well, you can find me on Instagram under Sugarcoated Moth. Um, that's pretty much the only social media that I use right now. So Sugarcoated Moth, um, that is me. Feel free to follow. I don't post as much art as I probably should,
Mhm.
but
It'd be like
you
that.
know, that's based off of perspective. You know, just I'm just a little guy.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel that. Don't worry.
but
As a writer, the meme is always, so when's the last time you wrote? It's like, let's not talk about it. I'm not
Yeah.
answering that question.
so I I draw like almost every day. I just don't post all of it.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't posted in a very long time, just because I'm mostly just post like fan art and stuff there. Um, which is why there's pretty much nothing, because I got busy with stuff like making assets for operator, or helping Trinket with fawning over a corpse, that sort of thing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Speaking of, congrats again on that.
Yes, congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, it is very cool. Um, but yeah, that's all I had to say. I will see you both in the next session. Um, yeah, bye. I have to go now.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
we should probably end this now.
yes. Thanks for teaching.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for having me.
Oh, oopsies.